OPMD is oculopharyngeal muscular dystrophy, and so we name things by what they are. And so what that tells you is that involvement includes the eyes, so they develop ptosis, pharyngeal, so they have difficulty swallowing, dysphagia, and then they also have a dystrophy, so they have proximal weakness, usually in the legs more than the arms. And it's a later onset disorder, so the onset usually is in the 40s or the 50s, usually with ptosis first, followed by dysphagia, and then by the weakness in the legs. It's due to a trinucleotide repeat in a gene called PABPN1. So this gene, if you have a repeat size of 10 of these repeats, you do not have disease. 11, you are recessive. And anything above that, you will have dominantly inherited disease. There are pockets where OPMD is much more likely to be seen, and those include in the northeast of the US, which really means Quebec, Canada, because there's a French-Canadian founder mutation. There is a group in the southwest of the United States, and that's a Hispanic population of sort of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And then there are the Bukhara Jews over in Israel. And so there are places where you'll more likely see OPMD. And probably there are about 15 to 20,000 patients with OPMD if you look sort of in that North America, Europe, and Israel population. So I guess that describes OPMD clinically. And the challenge is we don't have definitive disease-targeted treatments yet. There are treatments for OPMD, and so very simply, the first thing they usually develop is ptosis, so you can develop slings that will help pull the eye up, and there are multiple ways that or the eyebrow up, there are multiple ways you can do that to alleviate ptosis. For the dysphagia, that comes on gradually, so you can do swallow studies, you can have speech and language pathologists work with them to help their swallowing. You can have issues with either dilating the esophagus, which allows for more for food to flow more smoothly down. Occasionally, you can have somebody that will actually do botulinum toxin of the esophageal muscles, and that will work in some patients of limited time frame. And then the current definitive therapy, if you just cannot swallow, is a myomectomy. And then, obviously, for the muscular dystrophy, we do not have anything at this time.
Yeah. Well, great breakdown. Obviously, a little bit different than some of the other muscular dystrophies, especially some of the small differences with the eyes and the neck as well. So let's talk a little bit from the preclinical side of things. What recent preclinical research has shown promise in understanding the underlying mechanisms of OPMD, and how is this knowledge potentially guiding future therapies?
Yeah, so in OPMD, you have these trinucleotide repeat that leads to inclusions. And so one of the early things that they are trying to do is to take in, if you can do one of a couple of things. One, you want to produce the protein which is involved in developing a poly-A tail, and you must have that poly-A tail. But the goal is, if you can produce the normal protein but not produce the abnormal protein, then theoretically you would solve the problem. So there are preclinical models that are working on that, and that includes CRISPR-Cas9 and other methods to knock down one and or give a replacement normal copy. The other is that there are other techniques out there where you can actually try to silence the abnormal RNA or act at the ribosome so that the ribosome will not create protein from the RNA that comes to it that is abnormal. So there are a number of strategies all along that pathway that can be targeted.